Thanks, Jeff at Twigs and Alloway. Always so creative. Well, we're back in the kitchen now. We're talking about Cajun and New Orleans and that great, great food. And this is Mike Martin from Sports Corner, their new chef, Sports Corner in De Pere. Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I should say nice to meet you and welcome to Green Bay.
Oh, thank you.
We were talking a little bit about your background, and you fell in love with Cajun food. So let's talk and cook at the same time. We're making jambalaya, which is a classic. Really, really good. So let's get it started, and then we'll talk a little bit.
All right. Well, jambalaya, it's one of the staples down there. Everybody who is Cajun or Creole knows jambalaya.
Yep, exactly.
It's very, very basic rice dish. It's it's one of those things. It's meant to fill you up, stick to the bones, and well, let's get it started.
Yeah, let's do that. So a little bit of oil.
Put in a couple tablespoons of oil.
Okay.
You want the pan nice and hot for this.
And you were telling me that in New Orleans they do it their way, and you got to start with the meat. You don't put the veggies in first. You start with the meat.
You got to start with the meat.
So we've got the sausage here.
Yep. You put in the sausage and the chicken
and
at the
the
same
chicken
time.
at once. So some nice smoked sausage. If you can get your hands on andouille, that's great.
Gives it that little extra spice.
Yeah, and then some boneless
chicken breast.
Diced chicken breast. Yum. So while this is browning up a little bit, let's talk about your Cajun cooking. What inspired you? How'd you get into Cajun cooking?
Oh, well, I went to culinary school at MATC in Madison, and one of our second-year trips is we got to go down to New Orleans, and it was a whole culinary adventure type thing. We went to Emeril's, we went to Bourbon Redfish Grill, we went to the New Orleans School of Cooking, New Orleans Culinary Institute, and we had classes. And I just kind of fell in love with it.
You were hooked.
I love the spicy food. I love the, good stuff to excess. That's kind of what it was. At the New Orleans School of Cooking, it was a big chef. I mean, when I say big, he was like 6'9", probably 500 pounds. He was a big boy. And he said, if you come to New Orleans and you leave hungry, you didn't enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. So. I mean, it's one of those things where you're always looking forward to your next meal because there are so many restaurants and there's so many, so many different things. I'm always on search for the best gumbo and the best poor boy. So I'm always, every day, I'm always looking around and you ask the locals. You got to ask the locals. So, well, it's exciting because Mike's bringing some of that Cajun food to Sports Corner. So now you can get a lot of this stuff on the menu there, which is great. So we just want a little color on the chicken and the sausage, correct?
Yep. Once it starts to color up, then you add your vegetables.
All right, and let's talk about the vegetables, and there's a special name for that in New Orleans.
Yeah, they call it the Holy Trinity. It's similar to what the French call mirepoix. It's onions, celery, and carrots. Well, in New Orleans, it's celery, onions, and green peppers.
And just about every dish that you're going to taste has celery, onion, and green pepper in it, from the gumbo to the jambalaya. Now, I think people get gumbo and jambalaya confused. And there is a big difference between the two. Describe the difference.
Well, most dishes, Creole or Cajun, contain rice, and it's a matter of how you serve the rice. Jambalaya is cooked with the rice in it, and it's more of a casserole, I would describe it as. Whereas a gumbo is it's more of a hearty stew.
Right.
And usually made with seafood, chicken, andouille, that kind of thing.
You serve it over rice.
Yep, and you serve it over rice.
Yeah, that's the difference. So there's a big difference. This is kind of a one-pot meal. You bring it to the table and you're good to go.
Yep.
So at home you'll want to saute this for, good, 5 minutes or so? Kind of get it going, get a little color on that sausage, and now we should start adding our veggies, you think?
Absolutely. So.
Do we need any more oil?
Nope.
Okay.
There's enough oil coming off of the andouille to cook this.
Onion.
Yep. So we do the
celery and the green pepper.
Yep. And then I like to throw in a little garlic.
Oh, yeah. Now we're if you could just smell the studio. Wow. Takes you right back. So have you been back to New Orleans since your big trip?
Yeah, actually, we just went down there. Me and the owners of Sports Corner and one of our managers just went down there in November to the Po' Boy Fest.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
How fun was that?
It was a lot of fun. There was an entire street set up. It was a whole big festival. A lot of people there.
Yum. Got some ideas to bring back here?
A lot of ideas, yeah.
That's excellent.
They had probably 25, 30 different types of po' boys there.
Ooh. So. You try any really weird ones?
My whole goal down there was to try the muskrat po' boy.
Oh, yeah?
And then when I got to the booth, they weren't set up. And that just ruined my day right there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But they did have my favorite, which was the soft-shell crab po' boy. Ooh. They fry a whole soft-shell crab, put a little remoulade and lettuce, tomato. minutes.
Yup, now you're making my mouth water. I love the shrimp, poor boy. Yeah. I just, like you say, you get off the plane and it's just like, when's your next meal? You know, as soon as you're hungry again, go for the next one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what time of day it is. I had gumbo for breakfast there. Why not?
There's
All right.
good food around every corner,
Absolutely. So our veggies are starting to get a little bit soft. Our sausage and chicken starting to cook. Now what?
At this point, we add to the rice.
Okay.
You can use the parboiled like an Uncle Ben's or something like that, but traditionally it's a white long grain.
Okay. So we've got a rice right in here.
Yep. Now you want to get that going until the rice starts to turn a little translucent.
Okay, so you want to cook that
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yep.
That's a good tip. That just really adds some nice flavor to the rice too.
Exactly.
So just a minute or two.
It adds even a little more flavor if you do it in the cast iron pan, which is the classic way of doing it.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny. The chefs that Paul Prudhomme, it's that same pan that they've been using over. They swear by it. They have these big cast iron kettles, not frying pans, more like kettles that they make their gumbo in, and truly just delicious. All right, what's next?
All right, now at this point, instead of diced tomato, I like to use tomato sauce.
Okay. But diced tomato would be fine too?
You can use diced tomato. If you use diced tomato, you're going to want to cook it a little longer to kind of get more of the juice out of the tomato.
Okay.
And then, while that's going, you add your seasoning, which is salt, parsley, little black pepper, and Cajun seasoning, which you can buy at the store pre-made. It's a lot easier than making your own. But if you want to make your own, it's like a mixture of pepper, salt, cayenne,
paprika,
paprika, all sorts of fun stuff in there.
And this, what I like about this jambalaya is, again, you can serve the hot sauce on the side. I mean, this has got a little bit of kick to it, but it's not going to knock your socks off.
Most of the heat comes from the sausage, actually. In this.
Okay.
And,
yeah, I mean, in every restaurant you go to, there's always bottles of hot sauce on the side, so nothing's too hot. And now we need some broth.
Yep.
Cook
now
that
you
rice.
add your chicken broth or chicken stock.
Okay. And basically, at this point, we're going to put the lid on this guy, and how long are we going to let this simmer?
Anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the heat. It's best if you do it at a low heat.
Okay.
And that way you can kind of watch it and make sure you don't boil out too much of the liquid, because you do want to leave a little bit of the liquid in there.
Okay. All right. Now, that's the key, though. Like you say, you cook it like you would rice. You kind of let it go and let it low and slow. And so we started this a good, half hour ago? Something like that? And this is a one-pot meal. Bring this to the table, serve it with some bread, maybe start it with some of this fiery Cajun shrimp, and look at that. Ooh, that looks so good. Yum. The sausage and the chicken in there, and the green pepper, big bowl of that. Maybe some cornbread. Garnish that up a little bit.
Yep, I usually like to garnish this with a little bit of chopped parsley and diced tomato.
Ooh. Yum! Wow, I got to get a bite of that. I'm sorry, I just do. I won't double dip, but I won't mess up our pretty. I love andouille sausage. So this is something you're going to have on the menu.
Yep. At Sports Corner.
At Sports Corner.
Yep.
All the time?
We will have it all the time, along with gumbo, so if anybody wants to see the difference firsthand.
And then you can have both.
We can have both.
That's fantastic. And really pretty easy,
Oh, yeah.
A one-pot meal. I like that. When I go to New Orleans, I don't want the fancy stuff. I want the low country food, the stuff the locals eat. Mike's going to stick around. What are we making for dessert?
Oh, we're making a bourbon bread pudding. And I actually learned this recipe at the New Orleans School of Cooking.
Yum, yum. All right, well, this is a good one. Perfect dessert to round out your Cajun meal. Recipes, by the way, for the jambalaya and the fiery Cajun shrimp and that poor boy, you can find them on our website. Coming up next, got another Cajun recipe. Are you tired of the same old boring pasta? Why not make